Yo everyone, so obviously we got ourselves one of these electric bike kits, and then you was watching in the previous video that I've uploaded to YouTube. So what it is that I wanted to discuss about is the electrical situation of these kits, whether you buy them on Amazon or eBay or wherever you get them from. Obviously there is going to be slight problems because the way that these kits have come, the wiring is just not good. Now what I've had to redo is all of my cables I've changed over to heavy duty cable. So this is 240 volts cable. This is what you get in a house when you're wiring up a house. And obviously I'm extending my cables from where the motor is that runs all the way along here, and then where we had a special controller box cover, it wasn't that good, because the second it gets wet, obviously if you've got any, say, opened crimped terminals, even as soon as water gets in there, you're gonna have sparks and problems. So a few days ago when I went to put Kieran on the back, I went to turn it on, and then as soon as you turn it on, as soon as you went to throttle it, it says ECU, ECU, ECU. So basically what the ECU is that little controller box over there. So what happened was this. So that was very, very dangerous. So it melted. So basically these cables, what they supplied us with, were no good. Also, another thing I want to talk about is these is such a bad design. So what it is, I'll show you. With these kits, they come with these little tiny mini junction box connectors. So what you do is, where you got your three cables, you're supposed to put one side on there like that, and then the other side on there like that, and then the other side on there like that. And when you go to join it up with the other side, you put the other three on there, and you put these tiny little nuts,
and these ones,
yeah, on to secure them. And then what you do is, once that's done, you put your cover over like that and put the two screws in. But what I really don't like about this is the fact that any water, if possible, can get in there, and it's really a bad design. So because of this problem here with this happening, all right, because this happened with this that they give you, this is like a little felt bag, and it also caught fire here. It's very dangerous. And then obviously you haven't just got this plasticky covering or felt covering, you've got this rubbish inside, polystyrene, and it's awful. So what you can do, okay, this is a better idea. So instead of using these little connectors to obviously connect up whatever, I'm using these. So this is a much better idea. So it doesn't just save space, but it's actually more better. So like, for instance, if you wanted to do something in a, say, a better quality, this is way better to use things like this instead of this design. It doesn't just save you on space, but once you clamp these up, like what I've done here, they're not going to come off. They are solid. So obviously I'm going to chop these off, and then I'm going to put another 3 of these on. And once these are all done, that's all that sorted out. Now another thing I've done is, to make even more space, is I've used these little tiny zip ties, what they call in America, or cable ties in England. So I've separated every single one, and all of these need redoing. This is a total mess, but these are all going to be done properly, because like I said, I've extended the cables over there. So now that that's done, I'm just waiting for a box to come, which is on order from Amazon, and it's on its way. But what you can do in the meantime, if you are waiting for a box and you're really like, you just want to get out, I was thinking of something like this. Now what this is it's waterproof for one. It's plastic, heavy duty plastic. So you can, because I've got a couple of metal brackets, I was going to mount this to here like that, and it fits pretty good, to be fair. So I mean, I was going to mount it there. There's plenty of space in between the battery if you wanted to slot the battery off and everything, and it would have worked. Like, it's absolutely fine. And like I said, I've drilled a couple of little holes in place to put these little metal brackets. So I've got these little metal brackets from my local hardware store, and all I was going to do is literally just place them one by one. Once that's all screwed in and bolted in, then I was just going to literally cable tie this to the frame. Literally five cable ties would have held that on more than enough. And also it come with a little clip as well, so you can clip it on, you can undo it, and then I was going to seal it up. So obviously this is heavy duty plastic, this is not going to break. And then your controller box can fit sideways in there. You route your cables nicely onto one side. It would have been perfect. Drill a little hole for the other cables to come through, join them all up nicely. That would have still done the job. But if you are thinking about doing anything like this to improve, even if you disconnect the battery, keep these two apart. Keep these two apart. The reason what I'm saying is, even though you're trying to take this off from the battery, if these two touch, with the leftover electric that's obviously built up from the battery, the charge will still be in this thing. If these two touch, there'll be a spark, so make sure you keep them apart. If you haven't gone down the route of obviously putting these on yet, put a little bit of black electrical tape on one side so they do not touch. Okay, it's very important. Even with this is from the battery terminal as well. You always have to keep these apart, because even as you can see, when these touched, this is sort of melted now. So yeah, the best thing to do is obviously keep these apart. But like I said, as I have done these properly, I'm going to chop these two off, because this is the connector for the battery. That's fine, that's safe as anything. These two, this even comes with a fuse in it as well, so make sure that if it does blow or whatever, check your fuse, because there's a tiny little fuse in here. If you open it up, you can see. So these kits, like I said, they are not good kits, but you can always change things to improve it. That's your little fuse in there. And if that blows, just get another one and it's fine. But it's all it is to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe, because you do not want anything like that to happen. That is awful. And Kieran has been doing loads of different things. Do you want to show your work, what you've been doing? Yeah, he's been learning about how to use shrink sleeving and everything, and he's been doing such a good job. Yeah, because it's all about making things safe, isn't it, Kieran? Yeah, that is amazing. I love your work. It's really, really clever. So yeah, what it is when it comes to normal cables, what the kit comes with, these cables are okay, they're not too bad, but I've even put a bit of heat shrink on this as well to just protect it a bit more. When it comes to, say, thicker cable, you can even use like cable for a house. I mean, this is a 240 volt plug like cable. This is what you get from, say, your local hardware store or whatever. It does fit. You did a good job. So yeah, what it is obviously all I need to do now is protect this a little bit more. Once that's done, I'm protecting this cable so many like ways. Honestly, there's your normal little cables, that's your extension ones I've put on. They are the exact same thickness as what was on the motor, so they should be absolutely fine. So this is 7.5 mil thickness, these are fine. And then obviously what you do is I put a bit of protecting cover on there, and then I've also gone over with this stuff as well. This is like a decent heavy duty plastic protective cover, and after that I'm going over with some thick black heavy duty electrical tape, just to make sure it's 100% safe, 100% waterproof, and then that's what it's all about. So if you are planning on doing one of these kits, please make sure that you stay safe, you make sure all your wiring is up to scratch, and make sure it's waterproof. It has to be safe, Kieran, doesn't it? That's right, see? And he's out here with his little shirt off as well. So it's just a very, very quick video, okay? Obviously, when it comes to your thickness of cables, yeah, go through your cables properly. And then if you're not too sure, yeah, ask somebody. It's always best to ask somebody who knows about this stuff, all right? So yeah, like I said, it's just a very short, brief video on how to make sure that you improve these things, because if you want to go out on the road and you want to make sure that you don't want to break down or catch fire or whatever, you need to make sure that you're using the right connectors, the right materials, the right everything really. So just make sure that you're safe out there, all right, and have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for all the attention that the last video got. But yeah, you make sure that you subscribe, Kieran, yeah, subscribe, like, share and comment, okay? And have a lovely day. Yeah, good boy, well done. Say bye bye. Bye bye.